Who recognized those guys? What, nothing? No one?
I think ideally I should have been the one to recognize them.
No, but that's where you're wrong. Where do you think they're from?
The U.S. The U.S.
Yeah, obviously the US, okay? Let me help you. Maybe the names will help you. Ankit Gupta and Akshay Kothari.
Google?
Never? No, not Google. No. 2010. Those two guys were students at Stanford University. They were studying computer science. Do you know people who study computer science?
Yes.
So you know that in the end of when you want to get your degree, the final, you have to take to make some final project. And in 2010, they had to make their own project. Just to give you a little bit of clues who they are, do you remember the time in history when every time that Apple brought a new thing to the market, everybody waited and slept outside their stores? Yeah. Those were them, okay? They were the Apple geeks, and they decided because it was 2010 and Apple just came out with the first, who knows? I can see the picture, yeah, perfect, okay? And they were so excited about the new iPad and all the possibilities it offers, so they decided for their final project to invent an app. They invented Pulse app. Ever heard of it? No. It wasn't that big in Israel, I know. In the United States, it was amazing. Pulse actually was the first application that had algorithm of news, which means they recognize what we as readers, as users like, what we enjoy, and they give it to us. Today, it's reasonable, we see it everywhere. In 2010, they were very innovative. Now, I told you it was 2010, it was Stanford University. When they're doing the final project, they're doing the big demo day. All of the students come to the stage and they show their project. And of course, because it's Stanford, they invite all the big shots from the tech industry to be the audience. One of the people in the audience really liked their idea. The guy name was Steve. Any idea on which Steve am I talking about? Jobs it was, okay? He was thrilled about the new thing. A few months after that event, in an interview, Steve Jobs actually said that Pulse is one of his favorite apps. He never stops to use it. Do you have any idea what happened to those guys right after the interview? What happened to their app? Flew up to the sky. 3 years later, they sold their app to LinkedIn for $90 million. Now, why am I telling you this story? There are 3 reasons. First of all, be honest. Take a look at the picture. And I chose a specific picture, of course. Do they look like the most charismatic people on earth? From the picture I chose on purpose, okay? From the way they're dressed, the way they're standing, maybe not so sure. However, they obviously know what they were doing. They managed to get someone like Steve Jobs excited. And I'm sure we can all agree, Steve Jobs had heard a pitch or one or two before, right? So obviously they knew what they were doing. The second reason is just like you, they were students. And when we're students, whenever we choose to take some tasks or we have to do tasks, I invite you to do everything you do and invest 110% of yourself, because you never know what result you will have from things that you do today. Maybe something that you're doing today will give you something amazing in the future. And the third reason, I think the most important reason why I told you this story is take a look at your faces. Where's your attention? Huh? Who holds your attention right now? Me. And if you're thinking, wait a minute, Aviram, public speaking, soft skills, it's probably manipulated us in some way, well, you're absolutely right. But don't worry. Today, in the few hours we have together, I'm about to give you all the tools that I have to teach you how you can also draw attention towards you, deliver your messages in the most effective way. So again, good morning everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Aviram Goldstein. I'm a 35-year-old educator from Kibbutz Kramim. Anyone knows Kibbutz Kramim? Close to Be'er Sheva, it's pretty far away, it's in the south of Israel. The uniqueness of my kibbutz is the only joint kibbutz in Israel. We live together, secular and religious people together. It has some added value. And I've been working the last 6 or almost 7 years in this occupation. I'm helping people to reach out, to take everything they have in their head and to deliver it in the most effective way. I'm a life coach and I'm an NLP practitioner. Everyone knows what NLP is? Ever heard of it? NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. How can we program our mind, the way that we think and the way that people think, by using terminology, by using our language. I'm about to give you today tools from coaching world, from education, debate even more specific, and NLP world, how to create influence on others. Today we're going to cover a few things. I'm about to teach you a tool how you can deliver any message to anyone, anytime, in the most effective way. Of course, it's going to be a generic tool. It's not going to be precise because different situations require different things, but I'm going to give you everything. You're going to step out of here with a bunch of with a toolbox of message delivery, so you can choose which tool to use in different situations. I'm about to teach you several different tools on how to maximize your influence on others. Because let me tell you some bad news. Every time you want to deliver a message to people, you have an audience. Do you have any control over your audience? Take today, for example. Do I control you? Can I make you stay here and listen to me?
No.
No. All I can do is control my own communication, my own behavior to create influence on you. I'm about to teach you how to control yourself, your own communication to influence others. And in the end, of course, I would like to give you just in the middle throughout everything, and not some more persuasion techniques. Because bottom line, we don't just want to influence and make people feel and understand us. We want to make them do something. I'm here to give you all the tools you'll need for your professional life. However, because we're talking about soft skills that always regards to people, you can use all of those tools in everyday life, in your personal life. Take in consideration, today we will learn how to deliver messages within your team to people you work with. However, the same techniques you can use for your job interviews, for your salaries negotiation, to get someone to go out with you on a date, to persuade your kids in the future to organize the room. You name it. You use persuasion over people all the time. And the more practice you will have throughout your life, the better you will get it. So, let's start with the first thing and talk about how can we convey a message in the most obvious and the most effective way. There are 4 core principles which I'm about to teach you. Why 4 core principles? Because there's a lot of things that we cannot control even if we want to. However, there are the core elements, core principles that you can always control. You can always do maybe better, do a little bit different in order to persuade. But because I want this to be a practical workshop and not just theory, so I'll need 2 volunteers, please. Let's go, 1 and 2. All right. Your name, please, again? Noam and? Mihir. Okay. So one of you, Noam, let's say you, please come over here. What we're going to do is, Mahir, you're going to deliver a message to Noam, okay? I'm going to give you the message. No, you can sit, relax. Only he has to stand, okay? It's his problem. I'm going to give a message to Mahir, which he's going to deliver to you. Your job is to make sure that the message I'm going to give you is going to be on the board, okay? Your job is to do whatever Mahir is telling you, okay? This is all you need. You won't be able to erase, okay? Check out the rules. You cannot erase what you already done. If you've written something, you cannot erase it. You cannot look back, just stay at the board, okay? So I don't want you to see by any chance the message over there, and that's it, okay?
So I just look at the board.
That's it, and do whatever Mahid is telling you, okay? Your job is to take the message that I have right here and deliver it to the board using Noam, okay? This is your message, and you can say whatever you want, okay? And good luck.
I can say whatever.
Whatever you want, yes.
Draw an ellipse.
Draw an ellipse.
Yeah.
Can I communicate back?
Do whatever you're told.
Just draw a general ellipse, no issues. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. On the right, so you have to consider the right ellipse, alright? Forget the left one. We have to focus on the right one. Now, on the, okay, I hope he knows maths. On the top of the ellipse, draw a triangle with no big. Okay, wait. Okay, let's start with the easier one. Don't draw anything, but if you see the center of the ellipse, from the center to the major to the end of the ellipse, from the center of between the center of the ellipse and to the end of the ellipse, draw a vertical line. Wait. Wait, I'll be much more clear.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Not even a face, nothing.
Okay. Take the center of the ellipse. Don't draw. Wait. From a point between the center of the ellipse and don't draw. Wait. Just listen first.
When you say go, I'll go.
Yeah. First, I'll say the starting point. Okay.
Okay.
Between at the midpoint of the line between the center of the ellipse and the semi-major axis.
The semi-major axis.
Okay. Imagine a Cartesian coordinate, 2D Cartesian coordinate. The origin is at the center of the ellipse, and there's a you know what a semi-major axis is? Basically, take the rightmost extreme point on the ellipse, and in the midpoint of these two start at the midpoint of these two points and draw a vertical line crossing the ellipse. Just draw it, and I'll tell you where to stop. Draw a vertical line. Draw. No issues. Go down.
He's waiting for go.
Go. No, down. I said down. That's not on me then. Go. Go. Stop. Good. Okay, now we have to draw a rectangle. So now take the leftmost extreme point of the ellipse. Draw a horizontal line in the opposite direction, in the negative x direction. Go. Stop. Now go up vertically. We are basically drawing a rectangle now. So stop and go right. And just stop at where it joins the ellipse. Just stop there. And that's it. Good. And now the last part. We have to on the top of the not on the top. Just at a point which is next to where you just ended the point. Go a bit right on the ellipse. Okay, on the that's it. Start. Now draw a small vertical line up. That's stop. Now complete a triangle. Wait, not there. Go in the minus 45 degree from that point.
We have the 4 o'clock, right?
Wait.
Minus 45 degrees.
Go in the lower right corner and stop at the ellipse. Lower right direction. Yeah, and stop at the. That's it. Done.
All right. First of all, let's do a round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay, just so you see what it was supposed to be.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's pretty close, right? You see over there?
Wait, what is the other?
Pretty close, right?
Better.
So,
It has
what do you
an
say?
engine.
Did we manage to deliver the message?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost, huh? Is it good enough almost?
No.
Huh? I mean, for example, we don't have that part, see, straight line, and we don't have that ellipse at all. So, did the message delivered in the right way? What does it mean? You ask for a raise from your boss, or you ask for a budget from your bosses, and you ask for another $1,000 a month, and you forgot the one in the beginning. Does it make a difference?
Yes.
Huge difference, right? But why weren't you able to succeed? What happened?
There was a miscommunication.
Okay, how come? How come that was the miscommunication affected it?
The instructions weren't clear enough.
For you, right? The instructions were in the beginning, at least in your head, they were very clear. But a lot of times when we communicate whatever's going on in our head, we use our own words, we use our own place, we use our own vision. So we describe things from the way that we see it and not from the way that the other person see it. Perfect. What else? Why else didn't they succeed? Perfectly, I mean. It was great. But what wasn't perfect?
It wasn't planned.
What do you mean? It was planned. He knew exactly what was the end picture.
So we know the end picture, but it didn't plan how to deliver the...
Okay, so you mean he just moved on, right? It happens to you? Ever? You were thinking about something and just act, right? It's normal human behavior. In message delivering, it might not be the most effective way to conduct ourselves. Perfect. What else?
I couldn't communicate back.
Isn't it annoying? Right? He couldn't say, wait a minute, he couldn't ask any questions. Now I know what you're thinking. In real life, we can always answer back, right? No, not at all. A lot of times, especially in professional places, imagine yourself sitting with Elon Musk, you finally meet him, and he's talking about something which you didn't understand. Would you always have the guts and the self-insurance to say, hey, wait a minute, Elon, I didn't understand you? No, not so much. And not only with, exactly, we're embarrassed. And it's not only with people like Elon Musk, it can be your direct boss. You don't want to sound stupid. Maybe you're like, you don't understand something. Ever happened to you? Professor said something in class and you didn't want the embarrassment of asking, wait a minute, can you go again? It happens a lot. What else? Why else weren't you able to succeed?
We didn't have a common language.
Exactly, common language. There were 2 times, basically, when people succeed perfectly. One of them, and I saw it on your bag, was Rafael. They're all engineered, they're talking the same language. You told him, put the marker here, go to 45 coordinates like you try, go with this and it was perfect because they spoke the very same language. They used the same language every day, so it was easier for them. But do we always have the same language with people around us? Not so much. A lot of things are in common, which I'm about to show you. What are the things that are in common? But most of our communication is completely different. We have our own habits, we have our own terminology, we have our own way of listening to people talk. And it's different between people. What else? What about eye contact? Is it important when we deliver messages?
Yeah.
They couldn't, right? He was supposed to be right here. He couldn't even look at him to see where he meant. But in real life, do we always have eye contact? You send message, emails, it happens a lot. What would have happened if we discussed everything, we understood everything that's going on, and I will give you another drawing, something else, to try again? Will the next time, would it be better? Yeah? And what happened if you tried again, and then talk about it, and try a third time? Would it be even better? Yeah, isn't it annoying? Ever happened to you in life when you felt like, if only I had another chance, I would have done it differently? Today, I'm going to teach you technique, how to do things, how to communicate like it's already the 3rd time, even though it's only the 1st time. Because you will know what to expect, what to plan ahead, and what is most effective and will actually work for you. So, one thing that I think that you did extremely good, and you tried, was to say 2 things basically, Evan. One of them was to say, wait a minute, don't draw. Did it help you? Yeah, why? Why if we say, wait a minute, don't draw, just listen. Why would it help us deliver messages?
Because we make the other person ready to hear what you're
First of all, he knows that right now we should listen, but you knew you had to listen, right? It was your task. It's not enough. What else?
It was direct. I mean, it was just straightforward.
And what's the problem with that?
It's not that it's good, you know?
Yeah, is it good? Always? Let's just go on. No plan ahead, no thinking about the bottom line. Let's just start and see where it goes. You have a project in your work. Do you just go in it, or you ask, what is my goal?
Oh,
Or
no,
you should receive the goal?
No, in terms of stuff, I mean, it was a direct command of what to do. So he knew when to stop and when to draw, and like it was.
Okay, so
maybe
you
the
meant,
only-
okay, but I'm talking about how it helped us to draw the right thing. Because it's not enough that he knows that he had to draw. Obviously, he drew some things that were wrong. So go, no go, to start or stop wasn't enough. Okay? How can tell someone to stop, wait, listen can help us? What should we listen to? What should we tell him?
Instructions.
Instruction, one after the other? When you ever build an IKEA, anything from IKEA? Yeah? What do? You go and you see the bottom line, right? You see the end, how it should look in the end, and then you go back to the beginning, go for the instruction one after the other. The same thing when you communicate. If you stop and say, wait a minute, don't draw. In the end, it should be a drawing with ellipse, with a square, with everything. Then the person in front of you knows what is the bottom line. What is the bigger picture, and then you can show him how to draw it. We call it set expectation. Every time you want to communicate with someone, we as human beings have a tendency to wait with the bottom line to the end. For example, when you read a book or see a movie, when does the punchline arrive? The beginning, middle, or the end? In the end. Ever saw The Sixth Sense? Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Everyone? I don't want to ruin anything to anyone. Okay? So, everyone who saw the movie, exactly, who remember the end, it was, whoa, oh my God, we understood the movie, and because it's a good movie, what does everyone do after seeing it for the first time and understand something?
Watch it again.
Exactly, we'll go back to the beginning. The same with Fight Club, right? Inception.
Yes.
Now those are good movies. We understand the punchline, the bottom line right in the end, and then we go back to the beginning to truly understand what was going on. Do we have that opportunity in life? Normally, no. Imagine a situation when you deliver your message, you explain Elon Musk something that you worked on for so long, and in the end of your conversation you said, okay, so you got it? And he said, no. Or he thought about something else and he thought you meant something else. Normally people will do what? If you come to the end of your discussion and they didn't understand anything, or they thought about something else, what will they do? Exactly. They'll walk away. The better chances, okay, the best thing that can happen is some of them might ask you, wait a minute, can you please go back from the beginning? I thought you meant something else. And which one is worse, by the way? Both. Both are annoying and definitely are bad. So you need to make sure that no one waits to the end to understand whatever you're telling them. So I want you to switch it. I want you to change it. Every time you want to deliver a message, the first thing you say is your bottom line. What are we came here to do? What am I here to prove? What do I want you to know? Tell them the bottom line, and then everything that you will say afterwards, they will listen according to whatever expectation that you said in the top. It's like the math final exams, okay? I'm not sure, those of you who are not in Israel, how it works, but in Israel, when we have the math exam, 5 4 yechidot doesn't matter, it has the same formation. You have the question on the top, if you remember, and then you have to write the answer, and then the explanation. Mashal, זוכרים משל? מה שצריך להוכיח, the proof, the same goes here. Someone asks a question, you have a target, you have a goal to why you deliver the message. Tell them the bottom line, the answer, the end thing that you want them to know, and then afterwards explain and elaborate. Otherwise, people might listen to you, think they know what you meant, but you meant something else. Let me give you an example. Charles Clow. Ever heard of Charles Clow? The Tel Aviv knows him from Garden Garden, right? They got Clow, all of the demonstration, everything goes from there. Charles Clow was American Jewish, a very rich one, and a great donor to Israel. He donated a lot of money. That's why we have buildings on his name and the streets and everything. In Machon Weizmann, in Rehovot, he has a building on his name that he donated. Now, he used to donate a lot of money in Israel to two specific kind of people. First of all, for very poor families, and second of all, to lone soldiers. Soldiers who serve in the army here, but their families are away or don't have enough money, religious or anything. Now, Charles Clow made most of his money from two major things. First of all, real estate. He had a lot of real estate, mostly office buildings, not only, but mostly. And the second thing was shoe stores. Not just any shoe store, but high-end shoes, something very nice, very elegant. Now, this chain of shoe stores was all over the world. And people say that back in the 80s, when Charles Clow was alive and his chain of shoe store was still alive as well, he was in Israel. And of course, being in Israel, he wanted to visit his business. So he went to Tel Aviv, he went to the store, and then all of a sudden, he had a big smile on his face. I just want you to imagine how Charles Clow looks so you have something to think about. He was a big, big man. He was very tall, over 190 centimeters, and he was a large man. Not fat, not muscular, you know, Tamir. The big guys, people are large, you can see them everywhere. That was Charles Clow. And he was dressed not like me, semi-elegant, he was fully elegant. With the jacket and the tie, the cufflinks, everything perfect. And when he walked to the store, this big guy with a big smile on his face, it was something amazing. He saw all the customers try the shoes and buy and do the walk. You know the walk, when you try a shoe to see if it fits? and all of the salesperson that are serving the clients, walking around, money is getting over, everything is great, until suddenly you hear this tap noise. Something annoying in the store. Charles Claude, this big guy, started to walk around, first floor, look around, go out to the second floor. Eventually he sees that one of his employees, one of the sales representatives, he has a shoe that, you know, when it's so ripped, it's so torn apart, the bottom is just split, and every step he takes, the shoe makes the noise. And Charles Claude just got angry as hell. Well, hey, come here. And this guy, this employee comes to Charles Claude, looks at him like this, yes, Mr. Claude, how can I help you? And Charles says, hey, what's going on? You're a worker in my shoe store, my fancy shoe store, and you walk around with this thing on your feet? The clients can see you. What will they think of you? What will they think of the store? What will they think of me? What the hell is going on in your brain? And the guy looks at Charles Claude and says, Mr. Claude, I'm so sorry, I swear to God. I just get off the army. I finished 2 weeks ago. It's my first job. I come from a very poor family, and I swear to you, the first paycheck I get, the first money I earn, the first thing I will buy, it's going to be new shoes, and you will never hear that noise again. And Charles Claude, the great benefactor, looks at the guy and says, you know what, son? I believe you. And with no confusion, he reaches out to his pocket, and out comes great Stefan money. You know what Stefan money is?
Yeah.
Bills that are rolled around, you have a big rubber band wrapped around them. He takes out all this money from his pocket. You know what, son? I believe in you. Takes out the rubber band and give him the rubber band. Put on your shoes so I won't hear the noise until you buy new ones. What? Anything wrong? Why are you laughing? You thought I'm going to say something else?
Yes,
Huh? What?
that he was going to give him the money.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Why were you thinking that, why would you think that he's going to give him the money?
He's a benefiter.
First of all. And the big one,
Yes.
Yeah.
Just told us.
The what, the what?
He told us in the start, he loves to give 2 families and money soldiers.
And he wasn't even a lone soldier. I just said soldiers, and it sets in your head. You thought you understood what is my bottom line. But I wanted to deliver a message that tells you that Charles Claude was a great believer. He believed in people who worked hard because this is how he made his money. From the bottom to the top, all the way. Was there any chance you understand my message without me explaining it right now? No. Not at all. So, this is what happens every time you deliver your message to people. They think they understand where you're taking them, what is the bottom line, but you meant something else. In order to create a different scenario, to change how people feel in these situations, turn the table around. If I would have said in the beginning, let me tell you a story about Charles Claude to show you how he as a person was a great believer, believed in people, blah, 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 and then tell you the same story. Now would you understood what I wanted to say? Exactly. So that's why every time you go straight to the bottom line. Today I want to show you why our idea is the best idea that you can choose from. Today I'm going to show you why I'm the best man for the job. Today I want to talk to you about which restaurant should we go out for a dinner. Tell them what are your plans, the bottom line, and it helps a lot. Now, you guys work as a team. Ever happened to you when you met as a team and you wanted to talk about something, or you had someone come to talk to you, but not everyone is paying attention the same? Not only in this team, of course, because you guys are amazing and everything, but other teams you worked with before. The reason is because when people come for a meeting, usually they have no idea what to expect. All they think about is their benefits. What's in it for me? Why should I come? What am I waiting for? And if there's nothing that talks to them straight in the beginning, they just move away. Their mind is somewhere else. So tell the people every time you meet, today we'll discuss 1, 2, and 3 in that order. So they know when is their time to talk. And they won't just wait with their phones or wait to their time. They know what is going on. And of course, it also goes the other ways around. If you meet with people and they're waiting for you to talk about something, but you don't want to talk about it, it's not the right time, then tell them straight from the beginning. Because if they're waiting for you to talk about something specific, they're waiting. They're not really listening. And if it's your job to deliver the message, to persuade them, make them understand something, you want them to really listen. So tell them, set the expectation in the beginning. Today we will talk about 1, 2, and 3. And if you need it, we will not talk about 4, 5, and 6. We'll talk about them in the next meeting, next Tuesday. Tell them when. Is that clear? Expectation set? Yeah?
Yes.
Can you see yourself do it every day? if you'll practice, okay? If you'll practice, you find yourself do it even when you only have a sentence to say, not a whole message. Just to tell someone, let's go together and join me and let's go to the cafeteria together. Let me tell you, I want to tell you something, come to the cafeteria with me. Now he knows that you want to talk to him. If you do it in your everyday situation, the small things, when you come to the meeting, your professional life, this will be a part of your behavior and you will do it more automatically. Any other questions regarding expectation set? Clear? Perfect. So the second thing, after we set the expectation, we told people what are we going to talk about. Now we need to make people want to listen to us. Now I'm going to say something and I hope you won't take it the wrong way. But you are only interested in your own values. Also you only care about yourself and you're doing things only because something out of it is for you. We are all, as human beings, always motivated to action by our own interest. In Hebrew, we have a word for it, interesanti. People only do things, and I mean only do things, if they understand what's in it for them. Now I know it sounds bad, interesanti, but mind the word that I chose. I didn't say egoistic, and I didn't say selfish. We do things because we get something out of it. For example, you guys today, you chose to come here, right? You couldn't make an excuse and not come here, right? Everyone knows that. But you still chose to come here for 6 hours with me. Why? What's in it for you?
To learn.
To learn. And if you learn, it will help who?
Us.
Ourselves.
Exactly. Each and every one of you, you want to help yourself. What else? It's a part of the program. You want to stay in the program? Right? You want to prove yourself because you want to move ahead in life. Someone invited you, right? Someone told you should come today and you don't want to break the relationship. There's a lot of different interests. You know what? Let's turn the table around again. Why do you think I'm here? First of all, absolutely. I'm making a living out of it and I chose to make a living out of that for reasons. I could have gone and do something else. I work for Audi. You know Audi? I used to sell Audi in Herzliya Pituach. Money is not the problem, the living, okay? Every one of you, just like we could do different things. Why do you think I chose to make a living doing this?
Because you believe in giving your best, you believe in helping people.
Absolutely. I'm an educator, I'm a life coach, and I'm a people practitioner. All I do in my life is help people. Because, not because of you. Why do you think I want to help people?
It makes you feel good about yourself.
Exactly. It makes me feel good about myself. It makes me happy. Okay? And another interest, why am I here? Enjoyment. You want to enjoy your work? I love my work. I live in the south. I told you I drove for over 2 hours today to come here. And at the end of the day, I'm driving 2 hours plus because there's going to be traffic afternoon. But because I'm loving to, this is what I love to do. That's it. Not because of you. I'm doing it only because of me. Because of what's in it for me. And another thing, my wife is at home with my 3.5-year-old kid. Okay? No more keitana. It's home keitana. Okay? We call it mommy keitana because she's a kindergarten teacher. Okay? So I'm here. I don't have to work hard and to tell him what to do and play with him all day. I'm doing what I love to do. So I'm only thinking about myself. But here's the thing. I'm here to deliver you guys messages because of my interests. But in order to succeed, if I want, for example, to invite me again, pay me again, and give me the opportunity to enjoy my job again, and whose interest must I take in consideration today?
Ours.
Exactly. It's called win-win. You know win-win? Everyone, okay, think about it. Everyone you know, they're all people, human beings. So all of them are motivated into action, to do something only out of their own interests. But because you also have interests, it's not a bad or a good thing, it's a fact. To make them do something for you, think about the win-win. What value or interest does my audience have that I can fulfill today? If I want to do what I came here to do and do it again and enjoy it and everything, I'm thinking about you. What values, interests, values, toilet anyway, and what values do I have to provide to you today? What values you need? What's your interest why you came here? And then I can give it to you. Remember in the beginning, I said that you can use it in your professional life, in your personal life. I said job interview and salary negotiation. Who here is interested of having tools to get a better job in the future and a better salary? Right? The reason why I said it, because I gave you the relevant value that you have here today.
When you present the relevant value?
Exactly, yes. Now, however, remember, there are a lot of values. I'm not giving you a list of all of them, but I'm choosing the Pareto. You know what Pareto is? The law of 20-80. 20% of our action influence 80% of our results. I'm choosing the 20% that will affect you the most. Or at least, I'm trying. I'm doing preparation. I've done my homework with conversation, with Quattro team, with Sigali, with everyone I needed to understand as much as possible what are the values that you are looking for. What can I give you? Why should you be here? And so I can do it. And that's why I told you the things that I think that are most relevant. Okay? Now, this is a way that to talk about things, it's not the subject itself. I didn't start, when I said it in the beginning, that you can, when you can use it, I didn't start teaching you the techniques. All I'm doing right now is making, not right now, in the beginning, all I'm doing in that phase is to make you want to listen to me. Make you motivated to listen. Now, there are two kinds of motivation in life. You know, external motivation and an internal motivation. Which one is stronger, by the way? Which one will make us do something for a longer time?
Internal.
Internal motivation. If you know your values, then you want to be here out of your own motivation. This is an internal motivation. If I'm saying something too general, it's external motivation. It might work sometimes. At a workplace, if you don't want to get fired, listen to me. Will the employee listen to me? Yes, definitely, for a short time. External motivation gets you so far. I'll give you an example. COVID, we all know we've been at home a lot, right? Quarantines and everything. A few months ago, my wife came to me and she did this. Honey, what's going on? You've stopped moving and you gained some weight. Everything is okay? And I said, yes, of course. Why? And she said, I think you should go on a run. And I did. Guess how many times? Once. Okay? And I love my wife and I really care about what she thinks and what she said. I really do. But I didn't follow through with it more than one time because it was her motivation, not mine. If I change it, if she would say something that interests me, something that makes me feel like I need it, maybe I would stay and stick with the running for a longer period of time. So this is your job, not to think about what interests you when you talk about it. And we have a tendency to do it, right? You want to deliver a message, you tend to think about why are you delivering? What interests you? Always look at the other person in front of you. Always think what values can you provide to people around you in order to succeed in life. In my end, okay, for me, if I'll finish today, right now, this whole workshop we will have today, and this is the one thing you will take, this is the Pareto of everything that I'm talking about today. If you know how to provide value to people, if you be value-oriented people, you'll be more successful in your life and manage to achieve your own goals because of the win-win. If someone provides me value, what do I automatically want to do without thinking about it? Someone gave me something, I want to do what? To take it and run away? No. Yeah?
Be listening to him and like invest in what?
To give him back, right? He gave me value, I'll give him value, whatever value he needs. When someone offers you a glass of water, you say thank you and you feel connected. Give them the glass of water if that's what they need. Provide them with value, tell them and be straight. And just to close the deal here, don't think that people understand what's in it for them. Don't, because a lot of people do think automatically. You came today because it was in your schedule. You don't, normally a lot of people don't truly think about why should I do whatever I'm doing. We're just doing it. Why? Because we are irrational. Ever heard of Kahneman and Tversky? Heard of those names? Dan Ariely. You know Dan Ariely? Behavioral economic, #1 in the world. Kahneman and Tversky are the two professors who won a Nobel Prize, and they taught Dan Ariely. Their Nobel Prize was in a research when they found how people make decisions. How do you think people, human beings, make decisions? Are we rational or irrational? But you know game theory, Torat HaMischakim, we consider that human beings are rational. But Kahneman and Tversky won the Nobel Prize for canceling everything they thought until then. How much in percentage, out of their research, how much of our decisions do you guys think that we get rationally, and how much of our decisions we get irrationally?
95%.
Exactly. 95 and 5. only 5% of our decisions that we take in our lifetime, according to Kahneman and Tversky, only 5% of them are rational decisions. The rest are irrational. Just let me explain, according to research, what is irrational versus irrational decision, because it might not be what you're thinking about. Rational decision, Herbert Simon established 4 stages in 1970 how to make a rational decision. Along the time, there's another phase, the 5th phase, and it goes like this. First of all, in order to make a rational decision, set your goal. Decide what do you want to achieve. Then, find what are the alternatives to achieve this goal. Okay, with different ways. Then, 3rd phase, choose one, the most effective way. And the 4th way, and the first thing is just to do it. And over time, the 5th phase is, anyone have any idea? What do you do after you finish your job? What?
Find another thing to do.
Okay, first, okay, but I'm talking about a specific task, of course. Exactly, optimize. It's control, okay? Bakara, you want to control. You want to check if whatever you did is good or not. You want to check it. This is rational decision making. Is this how you make every decision in your life?
Yes.
To decide whatever to write right now. You're deciding whatever to write, right? You're thinking about rationally. What is my goal? How can I write? How should I hold my pen? What is the right word? Or you just do it without thinking about it.
No, but
right now, you're answering me. Were you taking the time to do the process? Wait a minute. He asked me a question. What is my goal when I answer? How many ways can I answer him? Which way is the most effective and only then?
A very quick process.
This, perfect. This is irrational thinking. According to Kahneman and Tversky, irrational, it's not whatever. No, your brain, in order to run, okay, in order to make decisions in a fast and a short time, it's like an average out of everything you know. It takes all your experience, all your knowledge, and it just makes a decision like that. System 1, system 2, ever heard of it?
Really irrational either.
According to, that's what the Kahneman and Tversky.
If your brain actually takes everything and it takes all of the general.
But we're not doing it consciously, that's why it's irrational.
no, because
We're doing it subconsciously.
because she trained herself to, of course this is a simplified example, but she trained herself to, write, how to answer. So it's a everyday thing for her.
Exactly, and this is irrational thinking, because your brain knows how to write because you should practice it for several years, right? And you know what to write because you already tried it and you listen to someone talk and lecturing to you more than once. You have habits, your brain knows what to do because he has the experience. The thing that our brain, human brain, wants to do is 2 things. He wants to survive and he wants to eat. Reproduce, this is survival, okay? And reproduce, okay? To create more human beings. That's all our brain wants to do. And the human brain wants to do both things with minimum energy spending. Because if we'll spend too much energy out of every thought that we have, we will not move on in life. We cannot do anything. That's why we have the mechanism in our brain. It's called, that Kahneman and Tversky called irrational decision making. It takes really fast decision. Now, what's the problem with that? Does every time we make an irrational decision, it's going to be the right one? No. But they use it against you in supermarkets, for example. Which items are the most purchased in the supermarket, do you know? Let me answer the question. Where do they stand?
Next to the
Like the kids, right? And it's always in the eye level of kids because they want to influence them, right? It's irrational. I feel like taking it. It's good. I'll take it. But let's say you go and you want to choose tomato sauce. There's a bunch of them. Which one normal or most human will choose? Exactly, in front of my eyes. Again, irrational decision. That's why all of the producers pay a lot of money to get the premium spots at supermarkets. So, if you provide them with a value, if your audience understand what is the value, why should they listen to you, it's very easy for them to make a decision very fast to actually listen. Now, I just want to talk about what Charlotte, right? Charlotte said here. Why do we think that we take all the decisions rationally? Because after we make an irrational decision, what do we always do?
Explain to ourselves why we...
Exactly. It's called rationalization. We rationalize everything because our brain wants to understand and to know he's made a good choice. That's it. So we explain ourselves why was that choice better for us. But it's only afterwards. Only. So if you in the beginning of the message tell them exactly what's going on, afterwards when you will deliver the message, the rest of it when you explain, then they'll understand it because you told them in the beginning what to phrase to. So always keep those two in order. What do I want to talk about? The bottom line, expectation set, and fast the value. Why should people listen to me talk about whatever I want to talk about? Okay? Any other questions regarding the value, guys?
No. Can we have a really fast bathroom break, or is it just me too?
Everyone needs a break? You want a break?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go and have fun.
Sorry.
No problem, of course. We have a long day, no worries. I'm here.
תגיד,
אין פה שירותים?
סתם, זה לא משהו, סתם. מכיר מה שקוראים לו אורי אילוזיה?
איך?
אורי אילוזיה?
לא. מהתחום גם?
הוא עכשיו לא, אבל הוא היה מעביר הרצאות כאלה, גם של סטורי טיילינג, וכל מיני טט-טוקס. הייתה איזה חברה כזאת, אני לא זוכר איך קראו להם, אבל סתם...
יש הרבה חברות כאלה.
כן, אתם פשוט
אני
גם
עבדתי
דומים,
במקורית,
סתם.
בראשונה, קוראים לחברת דיבייט, היא הייתה הראשונה בארץ, ועכשיו אני עובד עם קואטרו, שהיום היא הכי גדולה בארץ. אבל יש עוד הרבה.
כן, אז הוא עבד בזה. סתם. אתם פשוט גם ממש דומים והזכרת לי אותו.
זה השטנץ של הטיפוס. אני מקווה שעשיר רושם חיובי ולא...
הוא אחד ה...
כן.
הוא מנטור.
איפה פגשת אותו באיזה מסגרת?
אני עבדתי בסוכנות היהודית.
גם אתה? אני מגלה שיותר ויותר אנשים שאני מכיר, אני מרגיש שאני בערך היחידי שלא היה בסוכנות היהודית מכל החברים שלי, באמת.
גם אני.
גם סוכנות או מרגיש כמוני?
גם כמוך.
נכון, זה כאילו כולם היו שם.
אז אני הכרתי אותו משם, הוא פחות או יותר בגיל שלך. אז אני הגעתי בתור ילד, אז הוא היה מנחה שלי באיזה סמינר שעברתי וממש הרשים אותי. ואז אני התחלתי לעבוד איתו גם, ואז הוא לימד אותי המון.
אתה מכיר ואוהב את התחום?
כן, זה ממש מעניין.
מרתק בעיניי. מדהים. גם זה באמת אפקטיבי. מכיר את ועידת דאבוס? שמעת על ועידת דאבוס?
כן.
זה הוועידה הכלכלית העולמית. פעם בשנה מתכנסים כל הכלכלנים הגדולים לדבר על העתיד. כאילו לתכנן. ב-2020, ינואר 20, ממש לפני הקורונה, בוועדה שהייתה, הם דיברו על מה 10 התכונות הכי חשובות לאנשים ב10 השנים הבאות. 6 מתוך התכונות האלה היו soft skills. 6 מתוך 10 התכונות.
מה היו הרבה?
טירוף. העברת מסרים, סטורי טיילינג, משא ומתן, פידבק, ניהול קונפליקטים. הסיבה שאני זוכר, את זה אני לא, זה הסטורי טיילינג. סטורי טיילינג זה העברת מסרים, ואת 5 האלה אני מלמד, אז ה-60 זה...
זה 60
איך פעם? חניכים שלי לתלמידים בבתי ספר, הייתי דיבייט לצורך העניין, מורה לדיבייט, אבל זה התכנים האלה מותאמים, זאת אומרת, אתם שמתם לב שאתם מקבלים רמה מעל, איתם אני לא מדבר על כמה וטברסקי, לצורך העניין.
שאתה מחנך, זה דברים ששם להם דגש לנו בשביל לתת.
יותר מזה אני אגיד לך, אני מחנך גם בלתי פורמלי, אני לא אמרתי, אבל אני קיבוץ קרמים, אני מדריך שם בכיתות, השנה הדרכתי A-ו', שנה הבאה אני מאוד ג' או ו', אני לא יודע אם אני מקבל, כי זה באמת אהבה שלי. פעמיים בשבוע זה לא כסף, אתם יודעים על חינוך בארץ, זה באמת מבפנים. כל הדברים האלה אני משתמש. הכל. מתחיל את הפעילות, אני אומר להם מה הולכת להיות הפעילות ולמה שווה להם להישאר. בלי לחשוב פעמיים. יותר מזה, אני מלמד, אני מדריכים אצלנו במועצה האזורית, כולם משתמשים בטכניקות האלה. באמת עובד. כולם הקטע? כולם עדיין ילדים. מבוגרים, ילדים. צבא, כל פעם אני הולך לאיזה קורס של מפקדים בכירים, מדבר איתם וזה, וכולם מתנהגים כמו אחרון הקורסיסטים. תמיד, כל פעם, חבר'ה כבר סגני אלופים ואלופי משנה. כלום. Okay? All good?
Yes.
All right. Feel free because today we're together here. We have until 4, so whenever you need a break, something, feel free. Okay? All right. So now that we understand the beginning, the first 2 parts, how much do you think that they will influence your audience? Let's say you have 100% of influence. How much is those 2 parts together?
80.
Almost. 70. 70% of your success in delivering message rely on the beginning, the introduction, how you open it, and how you tell people what's going to be and what should they stay. If you haven't done this part right or effective enough, people in the middle of your lecture or meeting, what might happen? Exactly, they take their phone, they didn't understand what's going on, so they just buzz off. Okay? So make sure that those 2 parts, you really, really emphasize them. You think about it in advance. The first time you will meet Elon Musk, for example, instead of sitting right here, have preparation. This part, the two things that can be even in one sentence, it's sometimes very short in the matter of time, of course, it's extremely important. So think about it, prepare, and even practice if you need before important meetings, before going and meet other, for example, your competition. You want to show whatever design that you have, then make sure that you tell them right here, just like this in the beginning. Okay? I just want to show you an example. Normally, if you want people to clean after them in the toilet, you'll see something like keep it clean, right? People come after. But now that we know that people are value-oriented, which means they're looking for their own value, let me show you a sign that I saw in AT&T, Ra'anana. Want it to clean for your next time? Clean after you. If you want it clean, then make sure you clean it. Not someone else, only what's in it for us. Okay? Small adjustments, something small, create influence. How will we know if we manage to find the right value for the people? Right? Just like you asked, there's a lot of values. How do we choose? First of all, we said Pareto, right? The important ones. How do I know if those are really what's going to influence you?
You need to study your audience.
First of all, yes. How can I study my audience? What should I wonder about my audience?
What they're doing.
First of all, okay, let's start. First of all, who are they? Okay, if they have anything in common. Okay, anything. A second thing you said why, right?
What?
You said why? Why did they hear? Okay, so I heard it in my ears. Okay, so another thing is why are they here? Okay, what is the reason? What else?
What's in it for them?
Great, what values will they get out of it? Okay, not the reason why you came here. You came here because it's mandatory, because it's part of the program. What values can I provide? What else? What else can I learn about my audience in order to give them the right value?
What interests them?
In general, perfect, okay? If they have more things, they have things that I can see that are common. If you go in on a meeting where there's someone specific, let's say job interview, you're going to meet someone, can you do research over one person? Facebook, LinkedIn, website, wherever he's working, get the information you need, okay? And another thing that might help you to understand is terminology. To truly understand what and how, sorry, not what, how people speak. What phrases do they use? And if they use phrases that you match to them, when you give them the value according to their language, it's even better. So two techniques I would like to give you is, first of all, to listen to their audience respond. If you give them the message and they ask you questions of why, they didn't understand the value. If their questions are more about how to, then you know that you provide them with a value that interests them. Okay? So listen to the audience. If you see they're only in why question, try and offer them different values you prepared in advance, of course, because you haven't reached the right one yet. If they're asking about how, perfect. We know we got it. Another thing that might help you is something I like to do with students in class, okay? With young students. I love to play the game, the so what game. If you can ask, if I'm telling you what is the value, and you can ask so what, it means that it's not the right value for you. If you don't understand what's in it for you, then you can ask, so what? So if you see that your audience have the so what glaze in the eyes, you know the so what looks like, okay, whatever, then you know you haven't reached the right value. So try another one. Okay, guys? Now, after we finish 70% of our influence when we deliver a message, now is the time to deliver the message. Now is the time to show everything you have that you prepared, all of the examples that you have, all the explanation, all the reasons. Now, normally we have a lot of things to say, right? We either have nothing to say or too much. But when you deliver a message, you don't want to confuse your audience. You don't want to go too far, tell them too much things, because then it's overwhelming. You would like to, it's preferred according to researchers, of course, you try to divide whatever information you have, tons of information, to 3 categories. Only 3 parts. Why 3 parts and not more? Because 3 parts, if you divide things into 3s, people can remember it a lot easier. We remember things, it's a typological number, right? You know typological? It's easy for us. We hear things in 3, we remember it without spending too much energy. But you have a ton of things to say, right? You want to present your project, for example, for the competition. Do you have only 3 things to say about your project in the end? Will you have only 3 things to say?
No.
No, you have a ton of them. So how would you divide it? How would you divide it into 3 different sections so people can actually remember whatever you said afterwards? Any ideas? What do you do normally? When you want to present, you have a presentation in class, and you have dozens of things to say. How do you choose which one? Yeah, first of all, yeah, of course, you emphasize several, but I want you to take only 3. How do you choose the right 3?
Which is the most relevant.
More what?
The most relevant.
How do you know?
Based on maybe in terms of our competition, then what they're looking for.
Okay.
What they're looking for the solution.
So you mean you check what is the goal,
Yes.
and then to see whatever, explain that how you get to the goal easier.
Yes.
Right? Perfect. So if you know the end, great. What else?
Beginning, middle, and end, basically.
Great. Beginning, middle, end, past, present, future. Okay, you can divide it like this. Perfect. What else?
Emphasize uniqueness. Like take the most unique.
Uniqueness is one. What are the other 2? Do you always take uniqueness? In a project like yours, yes, absolutely. But any different message, does it have to be uniqueness?
No.
No, okay? But uniqueness, why you chose uniqueness, there's a reason. Why?
Make it stand out.
So they will understand.
According to the competition, only if you have the goal.
Remember you.
Exactly, that's why, okay? Uniqueness is memorability. If you be just like anyone else, you will not be memorable for a long time. If you find something which is truly unique or something which is truly yours, makes a difference between you and others, people will remember you not because of who you are, because of the difference between you and everyone else. Okay? What else? What else can you do in order to choose what information to put in your message or not?
Maybe connect it to the, because we present the bottom line, so connect it to the...
Exactly. You have the expectation set right in the beginning. So everything you choose, you always need to make sure. Does it explain whatever expectation I said, or it's not? If it's close, it's in the area of the Pareto, okay? It's only cosmetic, then it's not necessary. But if it explains exactly what you said, the bottom line that you said in the beginning, exactly, it's perfect, you can use it. Now, how do we find the right things to say? I want to give you a technique. Normally, human beings, our brain works like Google. Everyone knows Google, right? There's a reason why they succeed so much. Their algorithm operates just like the human brain. Ever try to write down a word on Google and see what happened? He offers you, right? Immediately, irrational decision. Okay, that's how he does it. Just jump between things. However, if you want to find out what are the best messages you can deliver within a specific message, change the algorithm within your brain. Don't be Google, be Ynet. Be any news website. Because when you go on a news website, you want to find out what happened with your favorite soccer team. How will you find the right information?
I will go to the sports section.
Sports section.
The sports section, I will go to the team section.
The Israeli, for example, or not because no one likes Israeli teams, but yeah, the right place, which means you go through categories and subcategories. The same thing we can do with our brain. Every time you have a lot of information, try to divide it into different categories. Just like news website. Does it have healthy repercussion, financial repercussion, environmental repercussion for your project? Right? Financial is important?
Yes.
Yeah. Environment? A little bit, yeah. It's something from the side. So you have 2 major things. And what is the third one should be? What do you think? What other category might interest Elon Musk to choose you?
Technology.
Technology, for example. Perfect. Okay, so you see what you're doing? You decide, you think about different categories, and then you choose which category is the most relevant. Let's make an example, okay? Think about, or you can even go on the phones, I don't care, it's okay? Think about what different categories do you have on the news website?
Politics.
Yeah,
Politics,
health,
health, sports.
Just regular news. Whatever is happening.
What is regular news?
Like,
Is there any category regular news?
you know,
just like-
usual Israeli stuff.
So you mean criminal, okay? Criminal.
Exactly.
We're criminal, and then always all go with, oh, never mind, okay? Forget about it, okay? So we have police, we have sports, we have weather, we have all kinds of things. let's say, okay, the Technion has decided to legalize weed right here in the university. Okay? No, they didn't legalize it. Maybe they look away, but they decided to legalize it, okay? Why should they? Okay, give them a reason. Why should they legalize weed? Let's go with, for example, politics. Is there any reason why from politics they should allow it?
You can
Yes.
get
Give
a
me.
lot of money to the state by taxing.
Okay, no. Politics is taxes, that's all financial. We don't have it. Okay? The people, right? People talk about it. Ram Shefa is already working on it. You know Ram Shefa?
Yes.
He was the chairman of the Students' Union. When I was the chairman in Ben Gurion, his student body, he was the chairman of the Israel Union. And he's working on it, so it's already going on. So maybe we can be first. Great. What about health issues?
It has beneficial health.
There's numerous researches, right? Maybe we can conduct one here.
There is one.
There is
Here?
so
Perfect,
many of
okay.
them already.
Great, so it means it's not only health, it's also politics. Because we have internal politics within the Technion. Perfect. What about sports?
Sports and
Yeah?
Yeah, it can.
It makes you.
How?
Actually, in the NBA.
Competitive smoking? I'm not sure it's going to be in the Olympics.
But actually, in the NBA, for example, they're looking to actually to make it legal because it helps the players doing
So it's health.
rehab.
You see the difference? It's health. It's
Okay.
not sports. So sports is the right category for this one. Legalized drugs? No.
No.
So we won't choose this one. What about criminal?
Well,
And you chose by chance. You see what you've done here? You chose the right categories for weed. Amazing. Okay, so what about criminal?
It can reduce the criminal activity.
Why? Because in criminal sense, right now it's illegal, but if the law will change, so we can discuss this category. So as the same you can do with everything, every subject that you want to deliver a message on. Do a list, okay? Not even just like this. Do a long list. And do it once. You know what? Hang it in your office or your bedroom wall. Have the list of categories that you can use and choose the right categories. What's the most effective? And this you can do it by erasing. Okay? Okay, so let's say we have those four, for example. So we said that sports doesn't fit, so we'll take it off. Let's say we also have another one here, and this one doesn't fit. And we stayed with only 3 categories. So now know which one are the critical one. Now, just remember, I told you it's a generic tool. Do you have to stick by 3? Only 2 is not good enough?
It's good.
It can be good if you have 2 very strong arguments. Okay? Sometimes it's all you have. What about 4? Will it work?
Maybe it's too much.
It starts, but it can be if you have to take the 4th one. You have to. But 5, 6, 10 different categories, overwhelming, confusing, they will not know which one means the most. So you're helping your audience here understand what is important and what's not. So in that part, which is around 70% of the time you will spend delivering the message, and it's only how much in persuasion you think? We had 70% for the introduction, the beginning. How much for that part with all of the content? What do you think? There's 30% left.
25.
Less.
10.
10. That's it. Only 10% out of your influence when you deliver a message comes from this part. That's this part. The reason is that people will not remember the thing that you say whenever you deliver a message. When you guys, for example, you came here, you sit and you listen to me because of your own interest. What would have happened if you hadn't been writing, okay? If you'd only listened to me and it was interesting, it was valuable, it was fun even. How much will you remember 30 minutes after our meeting is over if you'd only listened to me? What do you think?
You only remember the bottom line.
I told you the bottom line. I used all the techniques. How much out of everything we'll talk today, the content, all the examples, how much will you remember if, again, you'd only listen?
No, I'm saying I'll just probably remember the.
No, in percentage, because it doesn't have to be the beginning or the end out of total. First of all, you're over there. Remember the statistic that regards human beings will always be in range. So it starts from 10 up to maximum of 1. That's it. 1/10 or 1/5. Now remember your life. Every time you deliver a message to people, they did anything but listen to you. Sometimes they write down, but if they're not, they remember only 10 to 20%, which means most of whatever information you'll give them, they will not remember. How much will you remember if you will write down? That's why I asked you to write down. How much will you remember? Again, if it's interesting, valuable, not boring and unnecessary. How much will you remember? Again, just 30 minutes after we're done here. Again?
40%.
42?
40 to 50.
50, that's it.
I remember less sometimes.
What?
I can go back to it, but like I remember less.
You remember the thing that we taught. Whatever you wrote, out of everything you taught, when you wrote, you remember 40 to 50. Which means only up to half out of the thing that you wrote down. And it's not everything that we have here. Now this is the normal thing that happens, right? When you go on a meeting, normally that's what people do, right? They listen and they write down. It means they remember only half. What is the one thing that I'm doing, or the one thing that you guys, the audience, should do? You know what? Let's go with two things. What are the two things that you should do in order to remember 80 to 90% out of everything we'll talk today?
Practice.
Practice and? Again?
Participate.
And participate, exactly. Today, just like every message you deliver, you want people to remember that, like I want you to remember and be able to use it. So, participation is key, okay? Have you noticed that I'm asking you a lot of questions? I notice I can just give you the information, and then what would have happened? Right? Just went over you. I'm asking you the question, I'm making you more engaged for you guys to remember and learn better, again, because it's my interest. The better you will learn, I get more from what I want. And the second thing is practice. Specifically because of what I'm teaching you, which is a skill, I want to give you a sentence from NLP world that I think that can help you with everything you're doing in life, okay? Repetitism is the mother of all skills. If you want to own a new skill, not to know in theory, but to own, to know the skill, to be able to do it again and again, all you have to do is learn how to do it, and then do it again and again and again. Just like swimming. Who here learned how to swim from watching TED Talk? Or listen to a lifeguard yelling at kids? What is the only way to learn how to swim? Let someone teach you first before you jump into the deep end. However, once you've learned, jump in the water and start swimming. Okay? So practice and participation is key. You need to make your audience, every time, participate as much as possible. Lead them with questions. Wait for their response. Don't just throw information at them. Imagine or think about, this is not lecture here, right? Think about your lecturers right here. You have good ones and you have not as good. You see the difference between them? The interesting one makes you participate. It's a conversation, you're engaged. And the boring one just talk over your head, right? Because he's giving you some theories and information you'll have to throw up at a test eventually. If you want to deliver the message that you have in the most effective way, don't make people memorize what you say. Make them participate as much as possible by engaging them so they will actually remember what you say. Okay guys, is that clear? The third part, after the 70%, the 10% we got left, and choose from different categories. Yeah, I want to give you some homework. Okay, no one will check it. Don't worry, it's just homework as if, okay? Do the list to yourself. Write down 5, 6, 7 categories in whatever you're working on. So if you get a phone call or an email, for example, and you have to say something, you have it prepared in advance and you know where to reach. Okay, it's something that will help you on the ongoing. The fourth and final part in every message that you deliver is called call to action. Ever heard of it? Call to action? The reason why we always add call to action, not always, again, sorry, why we usually use call to action at the end of a message is because we want to deliver it, the message that will persuade people. And remember guys, persuasion, to persuade someone, it's not to change how he thinks, it's to change his behavior. If you want to know if you manage to influence someone, it's only from behavior. For example, I'm teaching you here new tools that you will have. If you won't use those tools, have I succeeded in my job? If you only know all of the tools, you will never use them. Have I done my job right? Yes or no? No. My interest is for you to use those tools to really succeed in your life in whatever you're doing. And that's why I need to give you call to action. One physical, one specific thing to do in order to really behave the difference. For example, I told you I worked for Audi. Imagine I show my client the car, how valuable, it's the right color, safety, fuel efficiency, reputation, you name it, all of the values that he's looking for. And in the end I'm asking, so, you like the car? And he's like, yeah. And that's it. What happens?
You won't get your commission?
Nothing, exactly. I won't get the commission, nothing. So I can ask him, so, do you want to buy the car? What will he normally say?
I'll think about it.
Exactly, I need to think about it, I just need to consult with my wife, I'm just going outside to check Mercedes because it's just 2 halls away, and I'll come back. And how much of them come back? No. Okay, if you have luck, you get someone, but no. All I need to do in order to change my chances of really close the deal is giving a call to action. So you like the car? Yes. So let's go and tell me how you want to pay. Let's go and tell me which color would you prefer. Not give me the money, okay? Call to action doesn't have to be aggressive, but it has to be direct. Something specific that the person in front of you can do. For example, open your calendar, let's find the right time to meet again. Call me next Tuesday on 5. Read everything I gave you, and I will call you tomorrow to see what you think about it. Tell them something, even think about it. Think about it can be call to action. Now he knows what is the physical thing he has to do. Sit or stand, whatever you like, but to think about it. So add a call to action every time. Now remember, it doesn't have to be aggressive, but you need to avoid the aggressiveness. Who here likes to tell people what to do? Perfect, okay, it's irregular to normal people, but however, most people, they like to communicate with people, to participate, to join together, not to tell people what to do. But to tell people what to do is normal human behavior. Even more, I would say. As human beings, if someone is telling me what to do, and it makes sense in my mind, what do I tend to do?
Do it.
Exactly, whatever he said. For example, any of you is a first responder? Took CPR courses? Anything? Yeah? Perfect. Okay, so help me, okay? Imagine a scenario when one of us is walking down the street and out of nowhere, right in front of us, someone fell down, started losing his breath and cardiac arrest. What should we do after safety? Remember safety? The first thing, if there's something endangering him, we should move him away. But if there's no safety issues, what is the first thing that I should do? I'm calling?
No, tell someone to call.
Exactly. On my way, before I get it, pick up the phone, dial 101, get the ambulance in, tell them it's an adult CPR. You run to the store, get the defibrillator. Fast. Open his shirt, please find his phone, call his wife, tell him they're taking him to, what hospital do you have here? Okay, Rambam. Okay? I'm telling them what to do. Now remember, it needs to make sense. Now what happens? Someone fainted, someone is on the floor. I walk up and giving people instruction. They feel like I know what I'm doing. And because I told them exactly what to do, they tend to do it. Will that always do whatever you tell them to do? No. No. But if you won't tell them, then you won't know what is the rejection you have. If you tell them, think about it, read the article I'll send you, I'll talk to you tomorrow. He said, no, I don't want to read it. What do you have now?
That he doesn't want to read.
He doesn't want to read. He told you that. What do you have now? You want to persuade him. That's your job.
So we sent you a YouTube link.
Which means you have opportunity to do something different. That's it. You have opportunity. So give them the call to action and wait for their response, okay? So let's go to the table and tell them which color would you like with your car. And the next thing I'm doing is close my mouth. That's it. You gave your audience call to action. Schedule a meeting, read about this, write this part in the article, whatever you do, and just wait for a response. A lot of time they will say, okay, cool, great, because it makes sense, because you build the whole message right. It makes sense, so they will do it. And if not, they will tell you no. And then you can ask them, why not? Well, what's different? Well, what do you think that can happen? You have an opportunity to change it, to do something a bit different. But if you don't do the call to action, you won't have the opportunity. Most people will just agree with you, and that's it. Okay? So every time something small that calls to action. Any further questions? Yes.
Why is the kitty?
Because of the eyes. You see the color? The eyes and of course.
Yeah, it calls for that. That's what I was saying. Like,
Pet my cat. I'm not sure it sounds great in every scenario. Pet my cat, but
it calls
But animals, they know how to call to action amazingly. You have a dog or a cat?
Yes.
Which one?
A dog.
A dog. Does he come to you with
Yeah.
let's play, let's poop, let's pee? He always calls that.
Yeah, his eyes too. Yeah.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, we went through the 4 parts and every message that you deliver. I remind you that you don't have to use all of them in every situation. This is the complete tool. If you don't need to set expectation because it's obvious. You talked about it on the way before the presentation. You don't need it. If there's no call to action because you just want to share. In the beginning you told them you want to share with them your ideas, that's it. You don't have to use it. But if you do, if you want to persuade someone, make sure to use the right tools. Okay? So far it was easy. All you had to do is sit here, listen, try to challenge me from time to time. Now, it's your turn. Okay? What I want you to do is to divide in pairs. Okay? You just need the exact number. Divide in pairs, and in pairs I want you to prepare a presentation. 2-3 minutes top, and this is what I want you to present. I want to take you out of your comfort zone to a whole new area, okay? Everyone knows Big Brother, the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother?
Yes.
Everyone else? Yes? I want you to recommend one of you guys in your pair, why is he or she the right person for the next season of Big Brother Israel? Okay? Remember to go through all those tools. Today I would like to explain why he, she is the right person and why should I listen. Give me 3 reasons why is he the right person, and of course, find a call to action. Okay? The task is clear to everyone?
Wait, each.
Choose one of it. Let's say you work together, choose one, okay? And of course, information doesn't have to be real right now. You can invent something, you can plan whatever you need, okay?
We here on the feet, you guys are here?
Yeah.
Right? 2, 2, 2. Perfect. You have 10 minutes for the task, and then you will present one another. Good luck.